Hello and welcome to the Intentional Brief, your weekly video update on the one big thing in cybersecurity news for middle market companies, their investors, and management teams. I'm your host, Shay Colson, managing partner at Intentional Cybersecurity, and you can find us online at intentionalcyber.com. Today is Monday, March 10th, and we are going to use our time this week to get back to basics. Know what you've got and know when to patch it. The last week has seen a range of new zero-day or previously unknown vulnerabilities be announced by several major vendors, including VMware, Apache, and Ivanti. And what's notable about these items isn't that there are more zero days, because there will always be more zero days. It's that these particular vulnerabilities quickly found their way onto the CISA's known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, often referred to as the KEV list, known exploited vulnerabilities, KEV. The point of this list, of course, is to help figure out which vulnerabilities really need your attention, as they're the ones being used in the wild by threat actors to exploit systems and gain access. Now, a couple of caveats about this list. First, it's not clear if this service from CISA will continue with the ongoing uncertainty around many federal services, which you can catch up on in any of last week's or the week before that's videos, or by reading any major US newspaper. Secondly, this list still requires operationalization from your end to derive real value from it. That means you need a few things to get the most out of it. First, you need a software inventory. You might know what you think is running in your environment, but are you sure? Do you know? Do you have a list? Vulnerability scanners or endpoint detection and response tools can help you generate a pretty good sense of both the software that you have and the version that it is on your endpoints. Secondly, you need a way to reconcile your environment with the vulnerability list. You need to ensure that you're getting the update notifications from all of your vendors, of course, but also that you're following the CISA KEV updates either by email or in some automated format. Third, you need to be able to patch. It's not glamorous, and it does feel a bit like a never-ending cycle, but keeping your machines up to date is one of the single most effective ways to help drive down risk across your enterprise. You're likely already on a monthly update cadence from Microsoft and other enterprise updates, but being sure that you can patch out of cycle and then maybe developing some prioritization or criticality around machines that are either public facing or business critical or have some other special handling requirement will help you make sure that you can orchestrate, execute, and deliver on these updates without destroying or knocking, uptime or other operational concerns off of their path. We've been singing the refrain on the show the past few weeks about controlling your controllables, and this definitely falls squarely into that bucket. So if you have unpatched VMware, Ivanti, or Apache software in your environment, turn this video off and go patch now. If not, or if you've already patched it, make sure you've got that accurate and up-to-date inventory. You've got a way to get notified of new patches and you know what to do with it. Wash, rinse, repeat. Speaking of back to basics on the fundraising front, there was an interesting headline that ran 2 weeks ago. We haven't talked about it yet here. From the Wall Street Journal, an article that is entitled "The New Survival Guide for Private Equity, Go Big or Get Back to Basics." The basics part, of course, aligns with our discussion here today, but it's always that go big component that gets the attention, and that's a trend that we're continuing to see with this week more than $23.3 billion in newly committed capital. ICG raised over $11 billion for their fifth GP-led secondaries fund, and we had several fund announcements with commitments of over $1 billion. Notably, we also had a new fund created out of whole cloth where Mark Walter, CEO of Guggenheim Partners, and Thomas Tull, former owner of Legendary Entertainment, formed a $40 billion holding company to make large AI investments. These folks, of course, are all in on the go big side of the equation, but I would encourage you, if I was offering advice, to be on the get back to basics side of this equation moving forward. Uncertainty is difficult when you're big. Basics go a long way when things are uncertain. As a reminder, you can find back issues and written transcripts to these videos at intentionalcyber.com. You can find links to all the articles we discussed in the comment section below, and we will see you next week for another edition of the Intentional Brief.